Unrest in Shillong. Just what led to violent clashes between Khasis and Dalit Sikhs in Meghalaya's capital? Pre-monsoon showers hit Mumbai. The civic body cautions metro construction has created 24 flood-prone areas. Why does India's financial capital go under every monsoon? And upholding Paul the Octopus's legacy, FIFA World Cup 2018 has a feline soothsayer. It's Monday, June 4th. It was a tense weekend in Shillong following violent protests in several localities. Curfew was clamped down in multiple areas and internet services were suspended. What led to the violence? One consistent account that local authorities have confirmed is this: an altercation between an 18-year-old Khasi bus attendant who was at the wheel of a bus and a Dalit Punjabi woman at Tham-Ew Mavlong Street, also known as Punjabi Street or Sweeper Street. The woman was reportedly filling water from a public tank and objected to the bus being parked on the road. That altercation then spiraled into violent clashes between the Khasis and the Dalit Sikh minority. Several residents of the Punjabi line were huddled inside langars out of fear as arson and violence continued Saturday night. But surely a mere altercation over a parked bus couldn't have led to so much violence. Here's the backstory. The Dalit Sikhs were said to have been brought to Shillong by the British Army to work as manual scavengers. Many of them live on Tham-Ew Mavlong or Sweeper Street, but locals have been alleging the presence of illegal settlers and demanding their eviction. Fears of a return of the violent tribal agitation of the 1990s are being expressed. The state of Meghalaya was formed in 1972 and has since seen ethnic tensions between tribals and non-tribal settlers. Local tribals saw settlers from Nepal and Bangladesh as also other parts of India as economic migrants who took away their opportunities. After the Assam Accord was signed between the Rajiv Gandhi government and the All Assam Students Union in 1985 that spelled out the policy for detection and deportation of foreigners, there was a clamour in Meghalaya that the accord be extended to their state as well. The Khasi Students Union that was spearheading the anti-foreigners movement in Meghalaya even launched a no detection, no election campaign before the 1986 state polls that led to the deportation of over 10,000 Nepali-speaking residents. The late 80s and 90s saw violent agitations. While the Khasi Students Union claimed the protests were only against Bangladeshis and Nepalis, known tribal Indians who were at the forefront of trade and commerce in Shillong also lived in fear, with many facing abuse and assault. Heavy pre-monsoon showers that hit many parts of Mumbai may have brought much-needed relief from the humidity, but as with every year, fears of flooding are resurfacing. In fact, the city's civic body, the BMC, has already cautioned that the ongoing metro construction work has created over 24 flood-prone areas, and their efforts to control the impact of rains will be severely undermined this monsoon. The chief engineer for stormwater drains said, drains protected up to the depth of 25 to 30 meters below ground have been dislodged and disturbed, especially in the case of Metro 3, which is fully underground. Not just drains, but underground utilities like cables and sewer lines have also been disturbed. It may be the metro this year, but what explains flooding almost every monsoon? These satellite images of Mumbai tell the stunning story of vanishing water bodies and mangroves over 3 decades. And that in turn speaks to the annual nightmare Mumbai endures. Just why does the city get flooded? Mangroves maintain the integrity of Mumbai's shoreline. Mumbai has lost a large part of its mangrove cover. Some reports estimate about 40% to rampant construction, and it is a pillage in progress as the land-starved city's housing needs grow exponentially. Also, while Mumbai's natural stormwater drains, its wetlands and rivers are being mercilessly encroached upon. Just look at the crown jewel in Mumbai's stormwater drainage system, the Meethi River, a dividing line between the city and the suburbs. The Meethi drains water into the Arabian Sea. The Meethi's catchment area has narrowed over time due to reclamation of land for construction. What is left of the Meethi is pretty much a sewer. clogged with plastic and debris. The wetlands along the Meठी too, these satellite images show, have done the disappearing act. Mumbai's man-made stormwater drainage doesn't fare better. Built around 1860, keeping in mind the population at that time, the British-era system can deal with 25 millimeters of rainfall per hour at low tide, which means when rainfall exceeds that limit, coupled with high tide, Mumbai gets flooded. What's worse, the 400 kilometers of underground drains and laterals are choked with garbage and plastic. The much-touted Brimstone, the Brihan-Mumbai stormwater disposal system, planned in the wake of the 26 July deluge, commissioned 8 pumping stations and 58 other projects. 13 years on, only 5 pumping stations are fully operational and less than 30 projects are complete. The widening of stormwater drains to a capacity of 50 millimeters per hour sought for also remains incomplete. Well, sheer lack of political will, foresight and imagination, and the unholy developer-politician nexus is to blame, here is some food for thought. The next time you chuck a plastic bag into the gutter, remember, it causes floods like this. From a problem of plenty to one of scarcity. Schools in Shimla will be shut for 5 days owing to the water crisis in the tourist hotspot. Water is being supplied via tankers under police protection. The crisis is so bad, the Himachal Pradesh High Court has banned all construction work in the city for a week, as also the washing of cars within city limits. The court also directed the municipal commissioner to stop supply of water through tankers through individuals in VIP areas housing judges, ministers, MLAs, bureaucrats, police officers, etc. Locals have been appealing to tourists to avoid coming to Shimla and not exacerbate the water crisis. Look carefully. Your pet dog, that cat on your office windowsill, the crow looking at you from there, or that pigeon you call bird-brained, they could know the future. Just like Achilles, 2018 FIFA World Cup's official oracle, who's stepping into Paul the Octopus's shoes. At least 4 of them. In case you've forgotten, late Paul, a common octopus of uncommon clairvoyance, with a Google Doodle, a memorial, a Wikipedia page and even an iPhone app to his name, correctly predicted 12 of the 14 games in the 2010 World Cup, a success rate of approximately 86%. Now, 2-year-old Achilles, a deaf cat who chases mice at the Hermitage Museum at St. Petersburg, Russia for his day job, has been named the feline for this job. His previous achievements include the 2017 Confederations Cup, which are like test competitions for the World Cup, where he correctly predicted 3 of the 4 match outcomes. Like Paul, his modus operandi is to choose between 2 food boxes. Both are decorated with flags of the competitors in an upcoming football match. Whichever he chooses is labelled as his prediction. Incredible, ridiculous, or governed by careful calculations of probability. You decide. Meanwhile, we will use our clairvoyance to predict that we'll be meeting here again tomorrow. See you.